Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with Game 4 of the OSL Semifinals, the EVER OSL Semifinals in 2000. Well, I was going to say the 2009 EVER OSL, but it's actually 2010 now for the last couple rounds here. Anyway, this is the semifinal between mOvie and Shine, and I keep doing the intros, so I'm going to pass it off to Deja Vu that I got over here. He's going to tell you what we've seen so far and what we're going to expect out of this game.
This series has been extremely exciting. A lot of people are talking down this semifinal as the other semifinal, as if the real semifinal is Splash versus Calm. But this semifinal has been extremely entertaining. A lot of action from both these players, a lot of aggressive play from both of them, some solid Reaver play from mOvie that was been very exciting, that featured a 20-kill Reaver in the first set. So that was very cool. In the second set, we saw attempted Corsair Reaver that kind of road side blocked by the shuttle being picked up, but mOvie playing very well, didn't lose his cool at any point during that game and just kept playing, just kept sticking to it and came out with another win. And then that third set, man, Shine with that sneaky Shine coming away with those Mutilus, and mOvie had no idea it was coming. mOvie in those first couple games, especially that first set, I feel like he was being very careful and absolutely making sure he got the scout out. And if he had done that again, I think if he had done that again in that third set and seen all those eggs morphing at the same time, I think he would have been in good shape. I hope he does something pretty safe, just like he did in that first game. Make sure he gets those scouts in it and really does what he has to in order to make sure that he doesn't allow Shine to come away with some kind of, I don't want to say cheesy necessarily. I don't think 3-hatch Muta is cheesy at all, but just some unexpected build. Does not want to get caught off guard, and I think he should have a really good chance. Just go back to that standard safe play from that first set, and I think mOvie will be in good shape.
Yeah, they changed the colors there, changed it to the yellow-red combo, but I noticed before they changed the colors that really, truly underneath the yellow, mOvie is actually purple. He's a purple Protoss player, so Shine had better watch out for that right now. Anyway, so Shine starting off in the bottom left-hand corner, and the Zerg player, of course. mOvie, the top right corner, yellow Protoss player. Yeah, I mean, Shine has tried something weird. Well, some sort of variation. I guess the game 2 isn't that weird. Although you're saying that he lost the shuttle, but it was all worth it. Game 2 was worth it to see the wombo combo of the Maelstrom and the Psystorm. But anyway, so Shine keeps trying kind of weird stuff, and mOvie has held it off in Game 1, and Game 2 was a little bit wacky, and he held it off in Game 2. Game 3, he didn't see it coming. He didn't have that obligatory cannon in his main, and just basically got really caught off guard there. And another overpool build, it looks like, from Shine. So same exact thing here. I wonder if mOvie is caught on yet that he's doing the same build every time, and maybe he's going to do something about it this time. Although, well, you're not really going to be able to do anything too different, except I guess, yeah, no, he needs to scout. He couldn't really go Nexus first. Anyway, so yeah, but mOvie is probably going to be really trying to scout earlier this time. Well, not earlier, but scout more aggressively and make sure he knows exactly what's going on. Because if he does know what Shine's doing, he's going to be able to counter it. We've seen that in games 1 and 2. So he's probably going to just really try and make sure he's scouting early on. And really, like in that last game, his Corsair got scared off early. He didn't get as good of a scout in with his Corsair. So wouldn't be surprised if he's a little bit more aggressive with his Corsair scouting to make sure nothing like that happens this time.
Well, they are at cross position, so that means that like a Zergling run by, now that he knows this, he knows that a Zergling run by is going to take a lot longer to take, so he can probably maybe not start cheating, but you can see the Nexus and the cannon going down at the same time. He could probably be a little bit more comfortable knowing that any sort of cheese, any sort of like 2 or 3 hatch play from, or Hydra play from, or Ling play from Shine is going to be a lot more difficult to pull off, and he's going to have a lot more time to deal with it, especially with that probe that almost has a drone. I think that drone is down to like 15 HP, is getting close there, and he's mining one of the mineral patches. So mOvie just trying to be just a little bit of a nuisance, just trying to annoy Shine as much as possible. It looks like Shine's coming up here to the top right with a lot of Zerglings. But I think those 2 cannons should be up in time, at least the one, and it doesn't look like all those Zerglings are really clumped together properly, so I don't think he's really going to be able to do too much damage here. mOvie should be fine. Getting out of that early game with success. Got to beat that 5 minutes, once you get to that 5 minutes, of Shine, you can start getting into the real gameplay. And it looks like Shine's going to take the natural of the bottom right expansion. This is Fighting Spirit, so 12 bases, 12 gases. So I don't count the middle expansion as much of anything, but you know, that exists too. So I guess you have 13 bases and 14 gases. But if you discount the middle base, it still is a huge macro map. And yeah, just gonna go right into the. It doesn't look like this is gonna be any sort of a cheesy build finally from Shine. I think he's just gonna try and play standard. It looks like he's getting that layer up pretty early, but I don't think it's that early at all. I think it's pretty standard overall for the Spire play. I think he likes getting his Scourge out maybe a little bit touch earlier, just so that way he can try and stop the Scout, because I think part of the metagame is he is a scary, weird player, so if he can get those Scourge out early and stop a Corsair from getting in there and seeing what he's doing, even if he's going standard, it causes Movie some trepidation, maybe gets him a little bit worried that what's coming my way, so just one of those little psychological gameplays that can help him out in the long run in this game is getting those Scourge out, maybe just a touch early.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Shine is the kind of player that, you don't really know what to expect, and so you get really worried and maybe play even a little bit too defensively if you don't have any kind of scout on what he's doing. So whereas, a lot of other players, you can pretty much count on them playing standard almost every game, and that's to your advantage. But yeah, so Shine actually getting his third base up before his lair and all that, so very standard way of doing things. Now his lair is up. He's going to put down a Spire immediately probably and play a very standard game, and playing, well, at least a standard starting game, a very high econ game, worked for him well in the previous game, in game 2, even though he did end up winning it with a quick Muta thing. And we're seeing a little bit earlier Citadel here from from mOvie. Last time he went for kind of an early attack, and I think he had, well, it's we are seeing some upgrades actually at the core, so he is probably going to be building up some Corsairs here. This time does not want to get caught against Mutas, against air forces this time, so he's going to try and make more Corsairs and try and take the control of the air. And Citadel going down, we don't see any things spinning there at the Forge yet. So yeah, he probably is just going to go for quick DTs, and that also means he's going to be able to get out Archons a little bit earlier. Last time he was caught without Archons when the Mutas came out, and so that might be something he's worried about too. So he wants to make sure he gets his Templar Archives up as quickly as possible, and a second gateway there as well. So he's going to be a lot better defended against any kind of an air attack. Although, yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's an exact response to losing the Mutas last time. He's probably not going to expect him to try and go for a Muta thing again. But especially now that he's run in there and seen that there's no gas at that second base, so he knows it's going to be more of an econ game that he's going to be playing.
Watch that third base at the bottom right. Once that Templar Archives is done and we start seeing the Dark Templar art being produced, he should have about 4 or 5 stairs, and all of them, I guarantee you, at that point will be heading down to that bottom right-hand base, and we'll try and check, or unless he has something they're watching already, and we'll check to make sure that any Overlord there is dead, and then the DTs will go down there and start to try and wreak havoc. And we've already seen a couple Overlords go down here. As long as he can protect his Corsairs from Scourge, as long as he can keep them alive and get their numbers up, this Sair DT is going to be really effective, just because the bases, the bottom right from the bottom left, is a pretty solid distance far away. It's going to be pretty tough for him to stop them. One of the Corsairs go down, so that's going to hurt him a little bit. And needs to be careful about that. Really needs to be careful about that if he's going to go for a DT build. There's the first DT. So that's going to be an important part of his attack, is making sure that those Overlords go down, and might even be able to force Shine to start producing some spore colonies around his bases. That could be a little bit of a detriment if he's forced to expend those drones, expend those resources on that. And this big attack is coming down to the bottom right. I say big because there's 2 Dark Templars, and I don't know if there's any Overlords are going to be able to survive a battle here. If the whatever Overlords get produced are die, I mean, those DTs are just going to have absolute reign over that base and just destroy everything. It looks like there's one Overlord there. If he can get a couple Scourges over there, a couple Corsairs over there, man, I'm losing my linguistic abilities. He can get a couple Corsairs over there and take down a couple of those Overlords. He will be in good shape. And it looks like he's going to be in good shape. Anyways, just no forces here for Shine. This completely catching Shine by total surprise here. He's going to lose that Sunken Colony. He's going to lose pretty much every drone at this base. Shine completely had no idea that this was coming. Even if he just saw when those DTs were coming, he should have been able to bring out more troops and should not have been trying to do a drone transfer. I don't know what the point of that was. or actually no, I think those were running away, but that hatcher is going to go down, and mOvie is just going to have a huge advantage. It seems like every game it's been someone being aggressive and someone falling behind every single game, whether it's through success or failure. It's been big game changers every single game, and this time it's gonna be mOvie in the lead. He's gonna be in the driver's seat as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. You know, just like every single game it's been. Just stick to your game. Just make sure your opponent can't do anything shenanigan-like, and just play your game, and you should be able to finish this off. And Shine even taking a hand off of his keyboard because he's just that far behind at this point.
Yeah, Shine, you can see it on his face there. He knows he's in deep trouble. And again, this also reminds me of that game against mOvie that he played. I think it was, I don't remember if it was on this map or it was on the other map, or the last map. But the game against, I'm sorry, the mOvie played against Zero is what I meant to say. Where he did that exact same thing. He came up with an early push and killed off. And here, actually, Shine coming in with a lot of Scourge, though, and some Mutas. The Mutas have been badly hit by those Corsairs before the Scourge came in, though. So the Mutas are going to have to fall back, I think. No, the Mutas are still there. They kill off most of the Corsairs, so there's enough of them. And so Shine actually coming in with a desperate counterattack and killing off all the defenses in the main base. All of the Corsairs. There's just a single Corsair left now. So he is actually going to be really vulnerable against the air. He tried to go for that early air advantage, and just Shine just built a crap load of Scourge just almost in a desperate counter attempt. And look at this, this probe in his base has killed off a drone, and it's going to work on the other drones now. Oh, okay, the probe finally goes down. But yeah, so Shine actually doing a really good counterattack there. Basically exactly what he needed in a desperate situation to try and throw mOvie off, trying to put the pressure back on mOvie, trying to take that base at the top left corner as well, and now do some harassment with his Mutas, trying to pick off some probes, and he has killed several probes here now. So pretty significant losses actually for mOvie on that part, but he's killed off that third base, and now it looks like he's going in for the kill, going for that natural expansion. He's gotten a couple cannons back up in his main, so he doesn't have to worry about those Mutas as much in his main base now, and now he's coming in against that natural expansion. There's only a couple sunken colonies left. All of the supply, all of his forces are in those Mutas right now, so he doesn't have any Zergling backup. He doesn't have any Hydras. He's got, okay, only a few Zerglings. He doesn't have Lurkers or anything like that. This is gonna be it. If Shine can hold this off, he may be able to scrape his way back into the game. But and it looks like he may be able to hold off. That wall is just a perfect little wall, and mOvie is not microing very well at all versus that wall. He could have easily just target fired one of the buildings in the front, but instead his forces just kind of waddled back and forth ineffectively, and he's letting Shine get that third base back up in the top left corner. I don't know if he knows about that. I don't think mOvie has been scouting around very much. Here he's just trying to scout around to see if he got that base back up in the bottom right, when actually it's gone back up in the bottom left. Okay, so he is scouting, because we did see a Zealot run to that left side as well. He just hasn't scouted that location yet. So if Shine can get some defenses back up at that top left base, he might be able to scrape his way back in, unless he A moves his Mutas into some Archons and lets them die. And they have more Mutas actually back there doing more attacks, but this time mOvie has rebuilt his Corsair count, and there's not as many Scourge in the area, so he should be able to hold those Mutas off now. Oh, never mind about the Scourge.
Scourge coming in now though, and mOvie just seems to have some mOvie seems to be having some multitask failures here in that first engagement. You know, he's trying to ended up trying to multitask both battles, ended up multitasking neither, and lost both forces pretty significantly. Finally finding this base at the top left, took some damage there, had his main mOvie did from those Mutas, but overall was able to fend it off. As long as he can keep that third base on the right side, okay, I think those Mutas did see it. As long as he can keep that base up and running and operational, he'll still be in a pretty good spot. I mean, he can still produce probes out of those two Nexuses. He'll be able to produce them out of a third pretty soon here, so he'll get up to 3 pretty solid bases at about the same time that Shine gets up to 3 solid bases, and he's already got most of his upper tech running, so he's pretty good to go at this point. Once he can get his economy back in good shape, and he's got those Archons around, and he can probably stand to put up one more cannon inside of his natural, just so that way his assimilator, that the area around his assimilator doesn't get abused anymore. But other than that, I think he's not. I mean, it wasn't very impressive exactly how this happened, but I think he's still in a lead in this game, just because Shine just really doesn't have that much of an economy. Although he's doing a very nice job with his micro here, taking advantage of the fact that a Zealot was unfortunately in front of those Archons, and the Archons weren't able to move as fluidly as they would have liked, and I was able to pick one off. And he's going back to the natural expansion, and look at that assimilator area just not being protected at all. But I'm taking a shot there from an Archon. Needs to be careful, doesn't want to lose us. Looks like he's going to go to the third base, going to try and take this whole base down, and he might have some success doing this. Nice storm going off, catching a lot of the Scourge. Unfortunately, not able to do too much damage to the mules, but that should open the way for the Corsairs to come in here. And here come the Corsairs, and those Corsairs should be +1 upgrade, if not +2 at this point. Should be able to have a lot of fun here, and we see sometimes better players here in this kind of situation will start splitting up. There we go. Now we start seeing the mules getting split off there to try and avoid all of the Corsair fire. So getting some a little bit late there, but overall good job by Shine to at least finally split those mules up so they don't all go down. Looks like Movie's coming here to the top left, gonna try and do another attack on this base as well. You know, if this base goes down, which it looks like it's not in a really good shape, there's only 3 sunken colonies, and Movie has more than enough force to take this all down. So this base is gonna go down. So Shine is once again gonna go down to 2 bases. So he's gonna be in yet again a really tough spot. And at this point, I mean, he hasn't been able to get a third gas up for long enough. I wonder what he can do other than just hope that these Mutalisks can do the damage, because that's about all he's got at this point. He's got to keep doing return damage, and it gets harder and harder as these Corsair numbers grow. And I just don't know how much longer Shine can really hold out with this kind of a strategy.
And here he comes in. This is a huge thing that he needs. Oh, whoa! A few Corsairs going down, and GG coming from Shine. That was his last attack. That's what I was going to say, is this is like his final battle. He needs to do damage with this storm going off on his units, on his mutas, and too many Corsairs. He basically needed to kill all the Corsairs there with those Scourge in order to effect enough counter damage. And yeah, sorry Shine, you're a bad player and you finally met someone who could prove it to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, your OSL silver medalist, Movie, has just managed to beat Shine 3-1 in a very exciting series. Yes, I say OSL silver medalist because I kind of knew from the beginning neither of these players had any chance against Flash. But regardless, Movie playing very well and counteracting Shine's style very well. That last game there reminded me a lot of Shine's game against Stork on El Nino when he just went mass mutas. And Stork in that game didn't produce Corsairs. Corsairs are kind of good against mutas and Scourge, especially against mutas. And Stork stopped producing Corsairs and let let Shine have all kinds of map control and control of the pace of the game. And in this case, Movie built up another group of Corsairs, and that's eventually what won the game for him. Shine could not take out all the Corsairs, and all he had was mutas in the air, and that was pretty much it. So yeah, Movie very definitively taking that third game, and Shine, oh man, he's really disappointed. I hope he's not going to cry, because then I'd have to laugh at someone who is crying, and that wouldn't be very nice of me to do. But he doesn't look like he's going to cry exactly, but he does look very disappointed. Gotta give the kid a little sympathy, I guess. I mean, this is his first OSL run, and he's gotten very far in it. So he probably had some dreams building up in his head that, oh my god, I might be able to get to the finals on my first try. Yeah, he has now lost his chance to be a Royal Roader. But he played really well, and I gotta hand it to him for getting to the semifinals, to be honest. You know, he's had a lot of strong opponents in his way. It's really almost a miracle for such an up-and-comer to manage to get all the way to the semifinals. So you gotta give props to Shine for that.
Yeah, you know, you said that we've lost the chance at a Royal Roader, but I think Movie is still a Royal Road candidate. So
I mean, Shine lost his chance at a Royal Road, but you're right. Movie, this is Movie's first time in the OSL as well, so he's a potential Royal Roader at the same time.
But good luck for either of them against Flash.
Yeah. So anyways, do you have any final thoughts on that series? I think we've pretty much been able to kind of analyze it as we went and covered pretty much everything that happened there. But any final thoughts about the series or what you think is going to happen with Movie against Flash?
Well, I think we've seen some sloppy play here and there from Movie, and Flash is just going to eat that up alive. But I will say that Movie came into this series with a pretty solid game plan. I just read one of his interviews on after the game, and you know, he did some really smart things. He picked some really good practice partners. One of his big practice partners was Quanrun. If you want to play against an aggressive Zerg, you know, he picked a good practice partner in picking Quanrun. So very smart play by Movie.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Quanro, I mean, Shine is kind of like an unpolished early version of Quanro, in a way, and so yeah, it's very good idea there. And Quanro plays similarly as well. But although Quanro has had a lot of success lately because he's polished himself up from his earlier like super aggressive, all I do is aggressive style that he had before. So yeah. So props to movie, but I think you hit the nail on the head when you mentioned that we saw some sloppy play from movie, and like you said, that is exactly the kind of thing that Flash is just gonna just tear up. Now Flash is one, and it's not even a weak point actually. It's Flash's not completely overly strong point. His not unbeatable point is his versus Protoss play. He has lost a few games against very good Protoss players lately, and Muvia is not in the top few Protoss players, but he's probably in the top 6 or 7 or something like that Protoss players. So he does have a chance of maybe taking a game off Flash or something if he gets lucky for some reason. But he's gonna have to clean up that little those bits of sloppiness if he's going to have that chance, because Flash is such a flawless player that you cannot get away with anything against him at all. And if you make those little mistakes, like losing his shuttle would be the equivalent of, well, I guess the same thing, losing a shuttle trying to do a storm drop on Flash or something like that. Those are going to be the kind of things that get him a little bit behind. Now, in this case, Movie could get a little bit behind and still win against a player like Shine. But against like a player like Flash, if you get a little bit behind, you are not going to come back from that deficit. So that's probably going to be what's going to be his biggest troubles there. But if he manages to decide not to play sloppy on that day, then he could theoretically give Flash a good run for his money. But anyway, but again, I'm pretty confident that we're looking at the silver medalist right now for this OSL.
Yeah, probably there. I mean, if Best can't take down Flash in any games, in the MSL, what luck does this movie have? He's gonna have to come up with a great strategy. And I think we've pretty much about the only thing I've left to say is thank you, Molchat, for having me along. This was a lot of fun, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, man, it was good stuff. Definitely thanks for coming along here, and looking forward to some hopefully interesting battles, at least against Flash. At least it will be a TVP, so that'll be kind of fun. No ZVZ finals this year. Who is that guy? I'm trying to figure out. I wonder if that's his friend or if that's another player. It might be a practice partner. I feel like I recognize that guy, but maybe not. Well, he's got the CJ jacket, so he's probably some player I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, I guess that'll pretty much wrap it up unless you have any final thoughts. And yeah, I'm gonna just I'll add some silence on the end because the video goes a little bit longer. So, but we're not gonna say anything else, just in case you want to watch the rest of what happened on the video afterwards. Anyway, but yeah, thanks very much for watching, and GG.
부담스럽다고는 하지만 사실 프로토스 테란이 급격하게 어떤 기울어지는 맵이 없기 때문에 양 선수 모두 다 괜찮을 것 같습니다.
네. 자, 이영호와 진영화의 에버스타를 2000 결승전 다음 주 일요일입니다. 오후 5시 생방송으로 진행되고요. 올림픽공원 서울 올림픽홀입니다. 자, 진영화가 일주일 동안 CJ 또 총력전이죠. 결승 주자를 만들어냈고 이제 우승자를 만들어내는 그 시스템 갖출 겁니다.
예, 이제 이영호 선수, 그러니까 요즘 보면은 이 팀들이 시스템이 잘 갖춰지고 이루어지고 이러면서 그런 변수가 참 많거든요. 어떤 코치가 어떤 종족 출신, 어떤 종족 출신으로 선수 생활을 했었던 코치가 오느냐에 따라서 그 팀의 그 선수들이 갑작스럽게 두각을 나타내는 경우가 또 있고 그런데 이영호 선수 역시 테란 김윤환 코치가 이렇게 오면서 이영호가 처음에 확 잘 나갔을 때 완전 그냥